It's OK Football's Luton Town Show. And we're here in the heart of Hightown, the Bricklayers Arms. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host. I got Wedge.
Hello.
I got Phil.
Hello, Ollie.
Yeah, you guys are so happy this morning. And a bit of a change of location. We're in the snug in the Bricklayers Arms today because the Brickies is having a new sign. There's bang, bang, bang going on outside.
Lovely little sign
here
as well. Beautiful.
Match day sign, so Luton fans only on match days. So I'll kick this one off with a really easy question. What's going wrong at Luton Town?
Everything.
Don't answer at once.
Everything.
It's one
End of podcast.
Let's go on. Yeah, well, that makes it. It could either be a really long podcast, can't it? Or it could be a really short one. We draw a line under it. There's the way I see it. It's been an absolute disaster zone. The whole of this year, going back to probably the summer of last year, I think that when we went up to the Premier League, I would argue that we didn't show enough ambition. I know that we were saying about not going against our core values and not changing the ethos, not being Billy Big Bollocks, this, that, or the other. But that didn't work, did it? And it carried on into this summer, and it didn't work. And it's carried on throughout the season with the decisions that have been made in the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, have been quite frankly. I don't even know what the right word to use is, but it's culminating in where we are. And the thing is, as well, is that I look at the league, I look at where we sit in the league, and I look at where we play, and we've played every team now. I look at how teams play. We're poor. We deserve to be down there, and I don't think anyone realistically could argue that. If they're looking with their actual eyes. I love this club. We've said this before. At times where things are really, really difficult, sometimes you feel, you shouldn't have to, but sometimes you feel the need to sort of quantify the fact that we do all love this club. We don't get up on a Sunday morning to come and record here but for any other reason other than we love Luton. And I know that, Ollie, you get a lot of stick online, and this isn't me defending Ollie K, by the way, for anyone that thinks that. I will argue with Ollie, we're the best of them. But he loves the club. And like, he might have opinions, this, that, or the other. Wedge might have opinions, I might have opinions, but we all have opinions because we love the club and want the best for them, and we all have different ways of dealing with it. But the problem is, at the moment, the absolute shower that is our club at the minute pretty much feels like, from top to bottom, gets different reactions from different people, and it shouldn't be a competition about who's this fan, who's that fan, happy clapper, too angry, not getting behind the team, this, that, or the other. Whatever it is, something needs to change from within that club, from within our club, to make things better. Because at the moment, we're looking down the barrel of utter embarrassment. We are going to be a League One club that's going to be moving into a 25,000-seater stadium. We're not going to get 10,000 in it.
I wish it was just embarrassment. It's not even just embarrassment.
That's what I wear this top.
Do you know
with
what
pride?
Do you know what year that's from?
Do
you know what season that's from?
About 2004.
No, it wasn't. No, it's the 2007, 2008 season. No, that is the season before.
Yeah.
So that is the League One relegation shirt.
Oh, there you go.
Worn by Paul Furlong. What a player he
Paul
was.
Pesky Soliday.
Yeah. Kevin Blackwell's boys.
Yeah. Don Hutchison. Yeah.
He was an all right guy,
He was,
yeah. It's worse than embarrassment, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, I was halfway through the first half at the game yesterday. Obviously, I was the only one out of the three of us which had the misfortune of going down there. But I could easily have just got up and left, because it is embarrassing to watch our team play. And that's matched with the embarrassment of what's going on off the pitch as well, because we're told we're being aggressive in transfers and things like that, and there's just nothing coming to fruition.
Yeah,
like, we need to bring players in who already have confidence, who are playing well, pay a little bit extra if we need to basically try and give ourselves a shot of staying up this season. We don't want to be bringing in players who might help us. We need players who already have confidence come in that can then bleed through the rest of the players and just take us forward. But I don't have the confidence that we're going to be bringing in players with the quality that we need.
You make an interesting point, because something I read into from Bloomfield's pre-match, he said, yeah, well, transfers in the window, they happen either at the beginning of the window or the end of the window. That sounds like a line that's been fed to him directly by Gary Sweet. Have you guys been aware of teams making transfers in the middle of January, throughout January? Do they only happen right at the beginning and right at the end?
I mean, you take
Morgan
Hull.
Whittaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I was going to say
happened in the middle.
Hull are making a statement.
Hull have made like 8 signings through this window, and lo and behold, they beat Sheffield United 3-0. They're going up. They've had an improved performance. Cardiff, another team around us that I think they haven't lost in 6 games now.
Mm-hmm.
All these teams are pulling away. Stoke, that I don't know if they've made signings. I haven't looked into it, but they made the managerial change before
Tom
us.
Cannon as well.
They lost Tom Cannon, but they brought in Ali Al-Hamadi. Yes. Sure, I don't think he's of the same quality of Tom Cannon.
But they brought someone in.
They brought someone in. And yes, we made 3 transfers, because Gary's like, yes, remember we signed Lamine Fanny and he came in. Well, he's already injured. Yeah, it's amazing.
Chris Masoko.
Chris Masoko, who
doesn't get in the development
one for the future.
Squad,
but no, he played in the under-21s. He had a disallowed goal for offside in that. But at the same time, he's not exactly going to be saving our season. Gary said in the programme notes, I'm glad they weren't so, well, maybe they were passive-aggressive, saying we have several bids in for players. But at the same time, with the caveat, they have to want to come here. We have to be able to agree it. It's all very well agreeing a deal, but who want to come here?
Who wants to come here?
Yeah, but we're playing
people
shit
would come
football.
here
It's gone.
If we offer them the money, let's be honest, they're footballers. They'll go where money is, and
they'll need a clause in their contract if we go down there. They're free to.
Yeah, which you offer someone an 18-month contract, give them the best shot that they can in helping us survive this season, and then that is
Smith deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to say goodbye to him in 18 months if they absolutely set the world alight. Yeah. But so be it. We're in the league.
Or they do their best in trying to help us survive this season. If we do go down, there's still a year on their contract. We can try and claw back some of the fee that we paid for them. We've got to take gambles. For too long, for too long, we've had periods of time where we can buy these players, they can bed in, they can, develop within our team and our club, but, we can't look to the future now. We need to look present day.
We're not a gambling club.
No.
We're not. We're very risk averse. Even looking at last January's window, we brought in Daiki Hashioka and I keep forgetting this kid's name. Taylan Harris.
Oh.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Taylan Harris. We brought in Taylan Harris from Reading.
Reading, yeah.
I said it was 2 Reading fellas, wasn't it?
Well.
Holmes and
Reading.
Yeah.
Holmes and Reading? and him.
Harris.
And Daiki Hashioka. And Hashi, he's been all right. He's not setting the world alight. He's bang average, but he's a serviceable right back. The real problem is the left back, and Bell looks like a shadow of the player he once was.
Yeah, the injury is.
He went from our most consistent player to now he's every time he gets the ball, and there was a chance in the Millwall game. I don't want to talk about the Millwall game too much. I want this to be a general chat, but there was a chance in the Millwall game where Kaminsky had to spare his blushes. Bell had the ball, let the player just nick it off him because he was turning into blind alleys. Marv intervenes and the ball sort of ran away from the Millwall player, but then Kaminsky came and smothered it. And that's happening too often.
Every player, they're just bereft of confidence, aren't they? Nothing that they're not even trying things that they used to try. They've not got that, I'll go for this. They're so worried about the wrong thing happening that they can't do what they used to do. They had a certain amount of flexibility to kind of try and do what they want. And like I say, Amari Bell is a prime example of just not having that confidence to go ahead, and because it was great bringing the ball out. That's what he used to do.
He used to break the lines.
Yeah, exactly. He'd beat a man and then you bring in Doughty or your forwards, and he's just. But I don't. I it's not saying he's a bad player. It is just the situation that we're in. Marvellous Nakamba.
I feel
again,
yeah. Sorry, Wes.
Shadow of his former self. Sorry, I know I'm hogging the mic a little bit.
I think it was all right, Marv. He's been one of our better players the last couple of games.
Yeah.
But to be honest, that's like saying...
I think you made midweek, we were down the pub, weren't we? And you said that mediocre games look like good games because our standard has dropped so much.
That was what I was going to come in and say, that the rot is so deeply set into this squad. And the thing is, at the start of the season, I remember being quite excited and we were making our predictions and I was thinking, right, we're going to be up sort of like towards the playoffs, and you think, big wrong. Yeah. Take that fully on the chin.
Do you know who was right? Me.
This isn't a "you're right" show, Ollie. I've told you this before. But yeah,
I thought I loved the club. I thought I was allowed an opinion here.
No. Only when I'm making a compliment to you. No. But no. On a serious note, the rot is so deeply set in, and at the start of the season, I thought, right, we'll be all right. We'll make a playoff push at the very least. And we were actually naively, and I say we, I'll stick it to me. Naively thought that the way that the other clubs were doing things that had come down, Sheffield United, to Burnley, I thought they were going to be the car crash because there was such a huge turnover.
Needed the turnover.
We needed the turnover because those guys that, as you said, Wedge, that are so bereft of confidence, they've taken a year of, large portions of that year taken a battering. We've not turned them over. We've not had the freshness come in to actually allow our team to stop being used to losing.
It doesn't help when the fans are applauding everyone off the pitch after every single loss and draw
every week. There's a few clappers yesterday, but there was also quite a loud amount of boos, and I think quite rightly. I mean, I don't believe it's aimed at Matt Bloomfield. I don't think you can boo Matt Bloomfield after 3 games. I'm still.
He's doing his best, mate. The players are in. The players are in on Sunday.
The rot is set in. The rot is set in. Like it's you can only work so much with the tools that you've got. If the tools are broken, you can't have a winning machine. And that's the way I see it. I feel really sorry for him. Sometimes I listen to him talk and go, "We've got Rob Edwards Mark II."
Yeah.
But ultimately, he's trying to change his ideas. There's things that already you see in Matt Bloomfield and the way that he manages things. You think, fair enough, he's giving it a go. He's making it. The fact that he's making changes on 60 minutes and not waiting until the 85th and just letting games pass us by.
Yeah, well, sucker punch that was. Elijah comes on and we concede like 30 seconds later.
Exactly, we make a change after 60. The first team to make the change.
The intent is
exactly.
Yeah, it's not his fault that players didn't do their job, and.
But I mean, I put it to a couple of people at the game yesterday is that I haven't yet seen a Matt Bloomfield style of play. I don't see what he's trying to implement yet, because yesterday's football, it wasn't football, it was Sunday League standard. We couldn't string five passes together. It was very much hoofball. Like we just didn't. It was like a hot potato for our players. And you got Tanganga and Cooper at the back for Millwall. Morris was not winning anything. It was a difficult game to watch, and I just didn't see any style of play where I think, that's what Matt Bloomfield's trying to do. And I know it's only been 3 games. I said I'd reserve judgment after 6 or 7 games, but I don't know what he's doing on the training ground, because nothing on the pitch screams to me they've worked on that.
The mindset's just so negative from months of Rob Edwards. You go, shh, here, you're fine. You're superstars, all of you. And it doesn't help with, as you say, the transfer policy as well. Tanganga, he's one we should have been all over.
Him, weren't we?
Well, we were linked, and Millwall, it's not like Millwall can financially outcompete us. Like we just come down from the Premier League. We needed a centre back pretty much the whole time, you know. With the club knowing that Ted Mengi was nursing an injury.
See that again. Well. That's the
Lockyer, thing. Like who knew if he was ever going to come back?
The thing that you said about Mengi there, I find really interesting, because
great bassist. Do you see that video of him slapping the bass? Yeah, good bassist.
I thought you were going to say about being linked to other teams, rather than the fact that he's got an underlying injury. But that to me is more negligence by the club, because if you know he's got a niggling injury, you know he's going to be out for potentially months. You know you're putting him through that playing, because his performances were not good at the start of the season.
But whose were? And the club were delighted and celebrating the fact that we kept Elijah Adebayo, Colton Morris, all these players. Everyone just assuming, these guys are going to... Even myself, I thought Elijah Adebayo was going to absolutely smash the championship.
Yeah, I mean, he proved himself up until his injury. He proved himself in the Premier League, didn't he, you know? And it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens this next 7 days with the transfer window.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to see who comes in. Yeah. Like, personally, I think there should be a director of football in at the club. I don't think Gary Sweet should have anything to do with the football operations. He's got enough on his plate with Power Court. He's got enough on his plate. And a football man needs to come in. I don't think it should be Mick Harford, because he's had his battles with cancer. David Pleat would have been a good one to have as a director of football, because he's sort of like when we brought in Joe Kinnear in the early 2000s, a football guy, a guy that's been around it, and then obviously Joe took over as manager. I'm not saying David Pleat should take over as manager, but there needs to be someone else that heads up the football operations, because I just don't think Gary Sweet is the guy, and that is a lot of the ire.
Changed.
It has. Well, bear in mind, when Gary Sweet came in, we were in League One, relegated to League Two, and then a bunch of years in the wilderness.
Yeah, this era.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they came in at the end of that season. It was pretty much confirmed that 2020 were the preferential bidders. Do you remember when we were playing Liverpool in the Cup replay, got spanked 5-0? That was the night that 2020 were confirmed as the preferential bidders.
But it's interesting, because like the comment about football's changed, like when the appointment of Bloomfield as well, it's one of those situations where he's in place now. We can't change that. It is what it is. But we've said about what would we have preferred, and we've gone very much with the 2020 ethos of trying to go for a younger sort of up and coming manager, and Bloomfield was obviously doing wonders at Wickham, but
he had a slow start though.
But it's also a case of like know the scenario of what's gone on. Like we're 23rd, like we were 21st, I think it was when he came in, with 20 games left to go. Like it is not the same as a promotion hunting team.
He's not got the time like he's had at Wickham to kind of influence them. We needed straight away.
Yeah, and I really worry that we've made the wrong decision. Like, and it makes me wonder about what was the recruiting process like. We've been told that it was
so quick,
based on data points.
It was so quick as well.
It's basically a champ manager click approve. That's what it feels like. And it's easier for me to get angry about it now because we haven't won a game since it's been here. But I don't know. I just didn't like it. I just felt like it was always going to be, oh, look, Geezer's got a £100,000 buyout clause. We'll do that. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
The cheap option, but also someone that Gary can, I don't want to say control.
I was just kind of given an analogy where it's almost like Gary and the board want to be, they are the head honchos and they're kind of bringing in their nephew or something like that, someone that they can, nurture almost. And you don't nurture your head coach. You bring him in and they are then in control of the squad. Let them do what they need to do. They are in charge.
Like a Jack Sullivan with David Sullivan at West Ham. Here you go, Jack. Manage the West Ham ladies.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's almost as if they don't want to bring someone in who might rub them up the wrong way because they've got stronger feelings towards how football needs to be played on the pitch or something like that. They don't want to upset their own little apple cart. It is what it kind of feels like almost.
Here's one for you guys. 1,000 data points. Managers all over the world.
For 3 years.
And they appoint someone from 20 miles up the road.
What are the chances?
with £100,000 buyout. Yeah, they went above and beyond in the statement to bring in Bloomfield. So we went above and beyond the compensation that they required. Yeah, here you go. Here's an extra 20. Buy yourself a round at the pub.
Yeah.
That won't get you much of a round, but look, for the record, I think Bloomfield's a very good manager. But I said on Three Counties Radio when they were doing like the special about him being appointed, I think he would have been a brilliant manager for us in the summer.
In the summer when we stay up.
Yeah.
If we stay up.
But even like getting a Cooper, a Dyche, any survival specialist, any big expensive manager, there's no guarantee that they'd be able to turn around this ship.
No.
But
they're more used to being in the trenches.
They're
used
yeah.
to this league, you know.
True.
Yeah. There's two things there.
I heard
when the
Allardyce is linked
pressure's
to
on you,
Bolton.
they've delivered when pressure.
Yeah, Allardyce is linked to Bolton.
Yeah, that'd be
the
wicked.
thing about survival specialists.
Yeah, that'd be excellent seeing him back at Bolton. Imagine seeing him just rise back through and get the latest.
Get Kevin Davis back.
Yeah. JJ Okocha's coming back.
Yes,
Ivan
goal,
Campo,
you know.
what team that was.
Hierro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, less reminiscent about Bolton.
I've said it so many times, and so much so, like for long-term listeners of the pod will know. Well, a lot of people don't know the part of the reason why we split from our previous partners was because of my opinions on how the season would go.
Don't do an Alan Partridge and say, needless to say, I had the last laugh. Please don't do it. You're going to do it, aren't you? You can't help it.
Needless to say. Who's laughing now?
Oh, dear. Laughing for our misery, Ollie. Be better. No.
Yeah, I'm not happy that I'm right.
No, I know.
But there were signs. There were a lot of signs. And I was saying it in the off-season, how concerning pre-season was. And
I mean,
the rot was setting in.
It was.
Probably from January, because we went from a team that were always in games, first half of the Premier League season, losing by 1 goal.
Yeah.
And then we're just getting spanks, 3s and 4s and 5s. It's concerning, and the players are too far gone. And I honestly don't know which player is even an asset anymore.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, that
Like,
really is. Arguably,
Who do we sell to raise funds? Who do
Yeah.
we get off our books so we can bring someone else in?
one of the most profitable players that we've probably got on our books actually went to Huddersfield and he never scored a goal for us. Got 3 million for him.
Not replaced him.
Yeah, because the value of some of the others won't be near to that.
No. I mean, from the beginning of the season to
Kaminsky will
now,
get
they've
money.
dropped, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, a 32-year-old Kaminsky, you think he's going to get money?
Yeah, as a goalkeeper, he's in his prime.
It was a good penalty save yesterday.
Yeah.
It's another
With his
former
left,
Hatter,
Yeah.
Aaron Connolly.
Yeah, schmuck. Yeah.
He is a bit, isn't he?
Don't like him at all.
He
but
was
yeah,
so mouthy. He was
Yeah.
mouthing
Yeah.
off in the camber.
yeah. But no, I think Kaminsky as a goalkeeper, he's right in his prime at the minute. And even if a Premier League team took him as their second goalkeeper, I'm not saying that he deserves that. But I think he could be easily a starting goalkeeper.
He's still an international, still in the Belgian squad, isn't he?
He's
So-
not.
Exactly.
He's not getting
No,
time with
Yeah.
Belgian squads.
If you're behind Courtois, it's difficult.
Well,
isn't it?
Courtois has been injured
So
for
is
the
it
better
Sells
part of
as
2
well, though?
years. Yeah, Matt
Sells.
Sells.
Yeah, so they've got
Forest,
depth in the
third in the
goal.
Premier League. Well,
Yeah.
they conceded 5 yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah. But
Whoops.
yeah.
we can't laugh at anyone.
I was going to say, yeah. When was the last time we shipped that amount of goals? Not that far. Probably.
Middlesbrough, wasn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, like I look through the rest of the team. Mengi would still probably command a fee.
Yeah, because he hasn't been
'cause
playing,
he's
so
not been playing.
it hasn't
McGuinness
ruined
is
his
still
value.
young, and then he's probably one of our standout
Yeah.
players so far.
Yeah. But beyond that, I'm looking at
That's the thing.
The
We've got
likes-
young players, but they're just all gambles. We don't know
Yeah.
whether they're going to come good. Like Ruel Walters, you
Yeah.
know, is he going to come good? He's not
Yeah.
getting game time. He's under Matt Bloomfield. He seems to have.
yeah.
He
He was
prefers
almost the
Hashi.
number one, wasn't he? But I
Yeah.
think that's because we need to shore up the defence, don't we?
Yeah.
So
Doughty would command a fee. Chong would probably get half our money back for him.
he's a player. I think we're in this setup. We're now missing.
Well,
I
you're not a
think-
fan of Jacob Brown?
Not where he's being played.
He's been getting a lot of pelters.
I mean,
online.
he needs to be playing down the middle.
Yeah.
But he's not going to
I thought you
play.
were about to say down the league.
No, I mean, he is. He's that. You think back to Crystal Palace last year, you know, that goal that he scored, he was playing down the middle, the ball gets whipped in, and he's got that extra yard of pace that Adebayo or Morris doesn't have, where he can get in between the defender and the goalkeeper, in between that line. So, but I don't think he's ever going to be played in that.
No, when he's played through the middle, he's
11 role, over Morris or whatever, right at the top. I don't know if that's
the
9
the
or
9.
11.
The 9. The 11's a winger.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
in old money, yeah.
Well,
Yeah. But you
that
can have
one
whatever
right-
squad number you
the
want.
one right
now.
at the top of the Christmas tree, you know, the star.
Yeah. But
He's never going to
I
play
just
that,
feel
is
sorry
he?
for him. I feel so. I
Yeah.
feel like he's not had a fair run at being in the position he should have been playing in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Chong is that winger. Jones is.
Jones will be off in
still-
the summer if we go down.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really
He'll
shown
surely have a clause.
anything. I mean, he gets the
Surely.
ball, and I've seen him beat one man against Preston. That touch he had against Preston, where he just went straight past yesterday. He couldn't beat his man. He had the ball. You think, oh, great, excellent. Couldn't beat his man.
who was he up against? On the.
He was on
playing
both
right.
sides. There's one where I think we had a corner and he
It
got
was
it out on the
interesting. He
left
got
and-
dropped, but at the same time, Kramer, hell of a player. They signed him from Exeter. Where's our talent going down the leagues? Interestingly, do you remember Oak Road Hatters' former host Billy Mully? No.
No.
Crickets. So Oak Road Hatters' former
Sorry,
host Billy Mully, he stopped doing the pod because he actually became a scout for Millwall.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah, good on him.
And finding nuggets of players like this, like Kramer, Tristan Kramer, where are they signing from? Yeah, from Exeter City. And he's been absolutely fantastic. It's concerning that players like Izzy Jones, who on his debut against Forest, he walks past 4 players and nearly walked the ball into the net. Now it's just the wheels have come off, and Ivanovic as well, a tidy finish. But I don't want to talk about that game. It's just fully depressing.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about in that game. So
Yeah.
just negatives. But yeah, I mean,
We can
bringing
talk
people
about
in.
it
Like,
as long as the highlights package. Okay, and now we're done.
yeah.
Because that was basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so to
But yeah,
conclude
that-
then, so what has gone wrong at Luton? It's a perfect storm of shit.
Incompetency is probably a good word to use, isn't it?
I think taking the eye off the ball, because thinking, so I was told by someone, no, I'll keep them nameless. So right here in the
Paul.
Brickies.
Simon.
No, I'm not.
David.
I'm not saying who it is. It was right here in the Brickies. After the Fulham game last season, and this person was talking to Gary Sweet. He asked Gary, how are we going to do for next season? He looks him dead in the eye and says, straight back up again.
How are you
There's,
going to do that, Gary?
Yeah, well, that's the problem is that it was just assumed it was going to, teams would roll over, it would be easy, the players would click.
It wasn't easy to get up in the first place, so I don't
No,
know
but
why
they-
people thought it was going to be easy to get back up. It was a struggle to get into the Premier League.
Well, the eye has been fully taken off the ball. Fully off the ball. And that's what's alarming, because the board of directors just assumed it would be piss easy. You know, we've got the hottest property in terms of management in the country. We're just going to roll over everyone. We've got two strikers that scored 10 plus goals in the Premier League. It's going to be a piece of piss. But the reality is, you got to have the fight and desire. You got to want to win games. We got none of that. None.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Sheffield Wednesday next week.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, who
Should have beaten us at ours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should have beaten us at ours.
and for all the shenanigans going off the pitch,
They've got
On
Danny
the
Roll.
pitch, they are.
they're doing well.
Yeah. Very, very good
I
side.
was saying before
Beat
Christmas.
QPR.
Yeah.
No one can beat QPR.
At
They
home.
beat QPR.
2-0 away. Yeah.
I think it was just before Christmas. I said I think they're the dark horse to get into the playoffs. I just think they're on the pitch, they are a really well-oiled machine.
No one likes a know-it-all wedge.
Irony.
I was saying they were going to get into the playoffs. Yeah. No one likes a know-it-all wedge.
Well, my prediction hasn't come true yet. Yours pretty much has. So.
Well, at least we're laughing at the end of it. Let's end up there because it's been a thoroughly depressing 35 minutes.
Yeah, well, we've seen so many relegations. But
this is the worst one.
This is the worst by far because this is the most avoidable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Negligible.
It's negligence. You just nailed it. It's negligence.
Yeah.
This whole season, it's been negligence from the boards, just assuming it's like a guy that's been in a job for 15 years and just assumes they got everything ticking over. Absolutely fine. I can take my eye off the ball, no problem. And one day he just decides not to go into the office and shit starts to go wrong constantly.
There was so much ambition and so much fight to get to the summit. And then once we got there...
Yeah, it can run itself. Absolutely fine.
Money. Yeah. We got paid. Thanks very much. Job's good, and we'll get the ground done. Yeah. See you later. We've done our bit.
We've done what we've set out to do.
And they'll always be held in high esteem for that regard, but we can't be playing in a stadium that big.
They took us from the non-league to the Premier League. I don't want to see us go back down to non-league. No. Or League One or League Two. I would say our natural level is between League One and League Two. No, League One and the Championship. Second and third tier. That is pretty much where Luton have bounced around for the majority of the time that I've been following them. The problem is with all the finances at our disposal, this should not be happening.
No, we're sleepwalking into mediocrity.
It's not even sleepwalking. Sleepwalking says that you can't do anything about it. Implies you can't do anything about it. We're fully awake. It's like a car crash, but instead of steering away from a car crash on the side of the road, you just full steam ahead. It's like, I wonder what it's like to crash into that car. Fully aware.
Yeah.
They're awake at the wheel, not sleep at the wheel.
Yeah. Well, we won't be ending on a laugh, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen that are watching. We thought we might, but we're not. Enjoy it.
Tell us, how the Sluga 6
Sluga 6 was also pretty poor.
Wonderful.
You got 1 point.
Yeah.
Wedged the opposition, and Matt got 2, and I got 3.
High
scoring
week.
It was
catching
wonderful.
up here.
Really?
Yeah. So, I made a point on that the first time.
That's awful.
No, you didn't. Sorry, mate. You rubbish at that as well.
I backed the Luton win. I was well optimistic going into this game.
You said Luton are going to win over the last 6-7 games. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Such a mug.
And on that note, we will end the recording.
As always,
you said it.
As always, a big thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, we're not normally this depressive. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on our YouTube. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, follow the show. Big thank you to our host, the Bricklayers Arms, in the heart of Hightown. As you can see, we're in the snug today. I thought we'd mix it up, but also there was a bit of construction going on the roadside. Also, a big thank you to Black Slot Amplification for the mics, for the mixer, all the toys that we need to make a podcast happen. And a big thank you to the record shop in Amersham. If you like CDs, vinyls, guitars, go check them out. Get your vinyl. And mention the OK Football Show, you'll get a cheeky little discount. But
come on, you hatters.
Come on, you hatters.
Come on, you hatters.